Homie, big homie in the house.
Big homies in the house. That's right. Well, it's true. We are back for part three of this bracket preview. NCAA Men's Tournament starts Thursday. It is March 16th, and we're hoping to get this to you on the morning of Thursday, March 17th, tournament day. Wells, first matchup here. Arizona at either Wright State or Bryant. They're playing right now. We couldn't wait for that game to finish. I think Arizona's going to handle them. They do have a couple injuries they're working with, but they've only lost 3 games all year, and I don't see their shooting going away now. What are we looking for on the betting lines, Phil?
Yeah, so they will be playing Wright State on the line, and like you said, 31-3, Arizona haven't lost. You can count on one hand how many times they've lost this year. Only other teams that you can really do that with, it's very minimalistic. I mean, Murray State, Wright State. Congratulations, you got the win as that 16 seed. Your reward is unfortunately playing Arizona. The line sits at 22.5 right now towards Arizona. Wright State, you're getting that over under at 156.5. However you feel like that game's going to play out, whether it's right in the 50s, Arizona in the 90s, you're still under that 150, 156. I'm not going to touch that over under unless I'm actually going to go the under, but I will take Arizona in the points right here just because I think they're going to come out firing like they have all year. They're going to be very persistent and consistent on offense and defense. Give me the Wildcats. Give me the points.
Wells, the truth, true. Our fantasy
That's right.
expert here. Do you think
What
the
up,
banged
big
up
homie?
Arizona Wildcats and their wonderful jerseys, by the way, they win the jersey matchup no matter who they play, Wright State or
100%.
Bryant. Win the jersey matchup. Arizona, flawless B-ball jerseys. Do you think Arizona, banged up Arizona, can come through with this win?
Arizona get the W easily in the first round, but their starting guard being injured with that gruesome ankle injury, that's going to cause them later in the tournament. But right now, they're going to get the easy dub. I would say I'm going to take the under because I don't see Wright State scoring that many points to help Arizona get to the over. So under all day, baby.
Oh, we see Wells is overlooking Bryant try to make a second half comeback here. Nice, nice. Yeah, I as well think Arizona gets it done. I don't know how far they make it in this tournament. It is a tough South bracket here. Moving on to the next one. My second favorite game in this entire bracket, South side, is Seton Hall at TCU. TCU, hot into the season. Hot into the season. Seton Hall, good as always. Just dominated up there this winter. Phil, anything worth betting on in the Seton Hall game?
So fantastic game, and this is what you look like in the NCAA tournament, much like what we talked about earlier in the first round when we were talking Memphis Boise State. Seton Hall played a tough schedule, played in the Big East, won some big games. TCU played in the Big 12, won some big games. The field goal percentage nod goes towards TCU in this one just by a hair. The 3-point field goal percentage goes to Seton Hall just by a hair. I think this is a fantastic game to bet on. I'm going to play the hot hand just strictly because of how close I think this is going to be. Seton Hall comes in as the favorite right now at -1. The over-under is only at 129.5. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take the over because it's not the staunchiest defenses. I'm going to bet the over-under, and I'm going to bet TCU on the money line because that's who I've got in my bracket. Horned Frogs.
Wells.
I'm going with the. Oh, go ahead, Lenny.
No. That was your cue. Go for it.
I'm going with the Horned Frogs, baby, all day, every day. I like the jerseys. The purple is sharp, in my opinion. Also, they had a hot end of the season, so let's go Horned Frogs, baby. I'm taking the money line.
Whoop.
Whoop whoop.
You see this?
I
See
see
this?
that.
Seton Hall on the money line, and I'm taking the over as well. I watched more TCU games than Seton Hall games this year. I think TCU can score some points when needed, and they finish the season hot. But I like the experience of Seton Hall. I think they have potential of being a Sweet 16 team. I'd like to see that Seton Hall Arizona matchup in San Diego. I'm going Seton Hall in the over. In the over.
Miss Lippy's car is green.
Oh, yeah. You never know. And if we're talking jersey still, TCU wins that matchup. I mean, the blue and white classics up there at Seton Hall, but god damn, purple looks good in basketball
Purple
arena.
looks fire.
Yeah,
Give me the frogs.
it looks good. Okay, we'll move on. UAB at Houston, or not at Houston, UAB in Houston in Pittsburgh. Houston, hot team. We're ranked in the top 5 at one point this season. UAB put out my beloved Blue Raiders in a double overtime game. Conference USA tournament. I want to know some stats here, Phil. What is worth noting here on this game, and is there anything worth risking the buck on?
So this is actually a fun one because you have that coveted 12-5 matchup that could end in an upset, right? 3-point percentage UAB. Andy Kennedy led UAB, which Ole Miss, let's go AK. 38%, 34% on Houston. The percentages are, you couldn't get any two teams that are even unless they're right on. 46.9 for Houston on the field goal percentage, 46.8 for UAB. All that being said, if you feel like betting on this game, there is actually a value pick in UAB. Houston's good. They're picked to make a run. They're picked to win the tournament in some places. It is an 8.5 line with Houston minus 8.5, 136 over and under. I'm going to focus on the spread, though. UAB's your value pick. It's not unheard of that they could win one of these games. I will be picking Houston because of the athleticism, but UAB to cover that spread is still in play. I got Houston on the line, but UAB to cover the spread.
Wells, you taking the Blazers or you taking the Cougars?
The Blazers are garbage, bro. They're trash. I'm taking the Cougars all day. Let's go Houston, baby.
Any thoughts on that over-under or the spread?
I'm gonna take Houston with the spread. And I'm still not over the MTSU loss. Dude, that was heartbreaking.
It was. That double OT was a heartbreaker.
100%.
I am going to take Houston to move on to the next round, but I'm throwing a buck on UAB to cover that spread. They are clutch when it comes time to shoot the ball. I don't know if their defense will hold up against Houston. Houston is big. Big down low. Big for a school that you would call not a major conference. Not a Power 5 conference. But it doesn't matter here. This is basketball, and Houston's big. But UAB can shoot. I think they cover the spread. Houston to move on to the next round. I'll throw something out here you guys might not know. Nation's fastest internet. Who am I talking about?
Now, I know you're a homer, so I'm going to assume since we're talking about the next matchup, it's somewhere near Champies where 40s and foul became true. But Champaign, Illinois, not a bad place.
No, not a bad place, Phil, but you would be right if you were guessing Chattanooga, Tennessee. World's crispest, world's fastest internet. You got to be there to believe it. We're going into an Illinois-Chattanooga matchup. Chattanooga has been a great team over the last 4 to 5 years. I consistently in the tournament, consistently upsetting some teams early on in the season, and they can shoot. Play fundamental basketball. If I went any further into this conversation, I'd be bullshitting you. I'm going to let Wells talk on this one first. Do you think the team close to town here in Chattanooga can get the job done, or do you think Kofi Coburn and that big Illinois offense gets it done?
Illinois is going to be going home crying to their moms, bro. I'm going with the Mocs, baby. Let's go, Mocs.
Another upset.
Love the bracket, Wells.
Wells, I'm going to need you to say that one more time.
What? Say what? Crying to their mom. Let's go, Mocs, baby.
All right, you heard it here first.
Pulling the upset today.
You heard it here first. The Mocs will go home crying because, or no, not the Mocs.
Illinois
is going to go home crying. The
bro.
Illini, because the Chattanooga Mocs are going to handle them well. I don't think so. I've watched one too many. If anyone knows, Philip knows one too many Illinois Illini basketball games this year, and I may be a little biased towards Kofi Coburn and that down low presence that Illinois has. Give me Illinois, and God bless. I hope they're wearing their oranges because those orange uniforms win that uniform battle. I'm sorry, the blue and gold just doesn't really get it done for me. Chattanooga. I think Illinois wins. I think Illinois covers the spread. Give me Illinois in the points.
Illinois sitting at -8, not as much as you would think. So Wells may be onto something here. Do the Mocs have the moxie? I don't know.
They do.
I don't know.
They do.
I don't know. I'm not betting on them to have the moxie. I'll put Illinois and my money on the points just because when we're talking about grading on offense and defense to this tournament, how consistent you have to be. Illinois is one of those top teams that can do it on both sides of the ball. It's not going to be any team that Chattanooga has faced all year. That's going to be a tough matchup when you're talking about playing a full game. It could be close early. I'm not going to dispute that. But I'm going to actually bet on Illinois in the points here. As much as I want the Mocs to have that moxie and pull Wells' upset, I'm sorry, but the Fly and I are going to take this one.
Okay. Big question. Moving on to the next match. Phil, Mr. Sports Science. Phil over here is our expert on betting lines. He seems to have the most success out of any of us on the betting apps. Hopefully one day we'll have one to promote. But for now, we need you to crunch the numbers. What hits harder? Juwan Howard's fist or Colorado State Ram?
I'm going with fist, bro.
Is Juwan Howard's fist got more
or a Colorado State Ram?
Yeah.
Actually, the Ram does. 100%.
It's a very fair question, and much like this matchup, it's going to be pretty fair. I enjoy betting.
That's great.
Not because I'm always good at it. It's because I at least, thank God, have the money to do it. This game's very odd, and for you people out there that think that Texas A&M got snubbed or Oklahoma got snubbed, this is the matchup that you look at, while Michigan sits at 17-4, 11-9 in conference on the 11 seed. Over here playing what was a very good Mountain West conference and a very good Mountain West team in Colorado State. When we're talking about Juwan Howard's fist, I wouldn't want to fight that guy. But when it comes to a hollow Rams horn, that's going to win every day. But, I'm going to take Michigan State in this game strictly for the battle weather that they've been through. I like Dickinson down low. I think he can really pull it together and overmatch Colorado State down low. It's going to be a close game. There's no way around that. I really think that Michigan pulls this out. It'll be their only win in the tournament that I'll give them, but a win nonetheless. Michigan favored by 1. The over-under is only 137.5. Give me the points. Give me the Wolverines.
Well, you heard it here first. The points and the Wolverines. Wells, you think Juwan Howard and the Michigan Wolverines can pull it out against Colorado State?
No, I do not. Colorado State's going to get the W, and I'm going to take the over, too. I don't have any faith in Michigan. They barely got into the tournament, and so they're going to just limp out, crying like a bunch of babies. Let's go, State, baby.
All right, I respect that pick. I respect that pick. I actually, too, think I'm taking Colorado State on this one. I'm going to stay away from throwing any of my hard-earned cash on this game because it scares the living shit out of me. I don't know which way it will go. If anything, I would take say I'd take the over, but the last couple of times I took the over on a Michigan basketball game, they really made me regret it. So I think I'm going to take Colorado State to move on, and I don't think I'm putting any of my hard-earned money on this game. First of all, great going up to this point, fellas. But we have to take a breath because Dolly Parton is no longer the only thing bussin' in East Tennessee because that three-point shot is 43% since the beginning of February. And the Tennessee Volunteers are going up against Longwood. Now, Longwood, no one's really heard of, but they did win their conference this year, and if I remember correctly, they are undefeated in conference play. They had a tough start to the season. They seem like one of those teams people like to schedule to beat up on. If not, then they played like shit to start the season, so we don't really know how that all played out. But I do know that my Tennessee Volunteers should be a higher seed than they are, but I like where they landed. And being a little biased on this one, I'm taking Tennessee. I'm taking the points, and I'm taking the under. And as much as I don't like taking unders, Tennessee has a fantastic defense, and they shoot a lot of threes, so I think they'll win this game. I think they'll win it handily. I think they'll cover the spread, but I do not think Longwood scores enough for the over to hit. I didn't mean to take that one from the beginning, but I am a little biased, and I'm going to let Wells True go next on this one. How excited are you for your Tennessee Volunteers to continue running this tournament?
Bro, I'm hyped, son. They won the SEC tournament. That was fantastic right there, baby. Chandler and my boy Ziegler is going to carry us to the next round. Let's go, baby. And I say they're going to cover the spread. I don't think they're going to hit the over because Longwood, I think they're garbage, to be honest. Let's go, Vols, baby.
I wouldn't quite use the word garbage, but I do want to know the stats before I blindly throw money on this game, Phil. Do you want to give us some stats since you're not as biased towards this matchup as some of us are?
Yeah, I know y'all are some Tennessee homers, so that's fine. And you're hot right now. You're coming off an SEC tournament victory.
Yes, sir.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Longwood, I believe, is in the same conference as Stony Brook, the Big South. Everyone knows that we love getting a little Stony Brook before we lay some Longwood. Did great during the season. 26-6. 15-1 in conference, Will. They did get that one loss. But at the end of the day, Tennessee is absolutely going to overmatch this team. The spread's at 18. The over-under's at 132. Tennessee, strength of schedule, 4th in the nation. Longwood, 343.
Like I said,
Also going to get a win. And you know what? I take the under. Give me the under. Give me the points. Balls are advancing to the round of 32.
Hey, that's what I like to hear. The under and the points. I called it first before I even knew the stats, fellas and ladies. I'm telling you, the Vols, the points, and the first time and probably the only time this entire tournament, I will say this: take the under. Moving on to the next one. I despise the state of Ohio, and I also despise Sister Jean. Sister
here,
Jean,
brother,
God
man.
bless you.
Hot take.
God bless you. But if on your birthday one more time Tennessee goes down, I don't know what I'll do. You broke my heart a few years ago. But we'll besides the point. Phil, break us down some stats. I know Loyola Chicago lost a couple towards the end of the season, but they were hot pretty much all year long, and Ohio State snuck in here towards the end of the year as well. What would you put money on if you were going to watch this game?
Yeah, no, and look, we know the history of Loyola Chicago. We know what Ohio State is as a college. And they did exactly what we thought they would do. Loyola Chicago did very well in the Missouri Valley, 25-7, 13-5 in conference. Ohio State, 19-11, 12-8 in conference. Ohio State looks better as a team, right? 7 seed. Loyola Chicago being the 10 seed. You got point guard play is very good on either side of the court here. I'll be honest, this is going to be another 10 upsetting a 7 for me. I'm going Loyola Chicago. I think that their defense against the three-point shot is going to really make Ohio State have to penetrate, which if you take away half their game, you're cutting out a little bit of their offense. So I'm taking Loyola Chicago here, definitely on the money line. What we're looking at when it comes to a point is it's actually a pick 'em right now. Dealer's choice. This is the best game. If you haven't bet before and you're looking to get into DraftKings right now, who we typically use, it's a pick 'em. Who cares? Same odds. Pick Ohio State. Pick Loyola Chicago. Who cares? I'm picking Loyola, and I'm also going to go ahead and take that over at 132.5.
Oh, I like that over. Wells, Fighting Sister Jeans or the dumbass Buckeyes?
I'm picking the Fighting Sister Jeans, boys. And I'm going to take the over. But the question of the day is, how many times will we see Sister Jean on the TV?
Ooh, 102.
She's always on there. They show her like every 2 or 3 minutes. So
Best player they got.
Yeah. For sure. That's the only thing they have going for them is Sister Jean.
Yep, I've got Sister Jean moving on to the next round. I think it'll be a close battle. I take Loyola Chicago on the money line and the over as well. Thank you for those stats, Phillip Wells. As always, thank you for your excitement. And let's move into the last matchup of the South bracket here. Villanova at Delaware. Now I know absolutely nothing about Delaware. The state fascinates me, but I know nothing about it. I work with two fellas from Delaware. Couldn't tell you anything about the state, though. Villanova, on the other hand, like I said in a previous video, Jay Wright, one, dresses fantastic. You ever seen that guy? Always in a fantastic suit. Fantastic watch on. Probably drives a fantastic car. And probably has a hot wife. But that's besides the point. Villanova knows what they're doing. They've been here before. Delaware had a hot season, but I'm sorry, you got a ship pull here. I got Villanova, and I'm gonna let Wells break this next one down first. Do you think Delaware stands a chance? And have you even heard of Delaware this year?
I've heard of Delaware before, but I am taking Villanova. I don't know what the spread is. I'm assuming it's high, but I'm going to take the spread. And I got Villanova winning. That's about all because I'm unfamiliar with Delaware.
And Philip, before we blindly bet the spread, just because we know nothing about Delaware, will you enlighten us on that spread? And will you please tell us what Delaware's mascot is? Take a minute to look it up if you don't know, because it is.
I don't need to. Y'all clearly aren't very versed in the fact that Joe Flacco was also a blue hen at Delaware. And I believe he's got some rings to show a little bit of victory promise. Delaware won't do that here today. It's going to be all Villanova. You could absolutely blind bet the spread at 15.5 going towards Villanova. I think they're going to cover that. I think Delaware's season's highest point was their tournament victory. That's where it ends. Unfortunately, the Blue Hens get to go back over to the East Shore. And, Villanova's going to advance. And we're going to see how their shooting really progresses in this tournament if they can't play down low.
And there you have it, folks. That's the South bracket. And like I promised you, at least one of us knows something about all of these games. So listen up. Make some money this weekend, this week. Games start tomorrow. And we'll be back shortly with a fourth episode here of our final bracket preview before we get into some recaps. See you soon. And smoke that spread because that's what we're here for.
Always. Yeah.